Good day, everyone. My name is Mathando, and I'm one of the attorneys at PPM Attorneys. We recently hosted a webinar on delivering ICT infrastructure through public-private partnerships. Today, I will discuss some of the key takeaways from the discussions and what we also expect to see in terms of the developments that will occur this year from a policy and legislative perspective. In simple terms, what is a public-private partnership? A public-private partnership is broadly defined as a transaction between an institution and a private party, in terms of which the private party either performs a function on behalf of an institution for a specified or for an indefinite period of time, or acquires the use of property for its own commercial purposes for either a specified or indefinite period of time. To date, 35 PPP projects valued at 91.4 billion rand have been completed since the introduction of PPPs in South Africa. These have been in the health, transport and roads and tourism sectors. There has been no PPP project completed in the information communications technology or ICT sector. Now, how can PPPs be used to deliver ICT infrastructure services in South Africa? The National Infrastructure Plan 2050, or NIP 2050, promotes the delivery of ICT infrastructure and services through PPPs. The NIP 2050 was published in February 2022. To that end, it recognizes digital infrastructure as one of the critical network sectors and embodies the National Development 2030's vision of a seamless information infrastructure that is universally available and accessible. The NIP 2050 acknowledges and encourages the private investment in telecommunications and digital infrastructure products and services. It further states that there is evidence of sufficient capacity to deliver on the objectives set out in the NIP 2050 if they are implemented through public-private cooperation. In terms of the framework, a PPP project is categorized into various phases, being the inception phase, the feasibility phase, the procurement phase, and the PPP contract management phase. This framework has been criticized, amongst others, for the lengthy, rigid, and costly feasibility studies, and the lack of sector focus and customized approach, poor contract management, and a lack of preparedness at exit management stage. To address these issues, in 2019, the National Treasury commissioned a review of the PPP framework. The study found that South African PPP framework compares well with international benchmarks. However, it proposed some changes in order to address the critical gaps and challenges in order to improve the PPP operational environment. These include legislative changes to improve the selection, prioritization, planning, financing, support mechanisms, procurement, implementation, and monitoring of PPPs. In 2020, the draft Procurement Bill was published. The purpose of the bill is to introduce a single regulatory framework for local, provincial, and national governments, as well as state-owned enterprises. The Procurement Bill will hopefully result in efficiency and reduce the fragmented processes currently in place, stemming from the numerous pieces of legislation that regulate procurement within the public sphere. In relation to PPPs, the Procurement Bill aims to address critical gaps and challenges in order to improve operational environment. It further sets out challenges or changes to improve the selection, prioritization, financing, support mechanisms, procurement, implementation, and monitoring of PPPs. In addition to the changes to the PPP framework, the past year has seen a shift towards the financing of ICT infrastructure through blended finance. This comes in the wake of the announcement of the establishment of the Infrastructure Fund in 2018. Structured with the Development Bank of Southern Africa, the fund represents a growing commitment by South Africa to PPPs. In the 2022 budget review, the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies announced that Phase 2 of the SA Connect project will be funded through the Infrastructure Fund. The aim of SA Connect, or the SA Connect project, is to provide broadband access in communities and government facilities. It forms part of government's commitment to bridge the digital divide and advance the digital economy. This is an example of how PPPs can be used to deliver ICT infrastructure and services in South Africa. We've also seen the addition of legislation being promulgated in order to provide for a more rapid rollout of electronic communications facilities, such as the standard draft bylaws for the deployment of electronic communications and facilities, which were promulgated in September 2022. The next generation radio frequency spectrum draft policy was also published in September 2022 in order to provide for the availability of spectrum, which will aid in the reduction of communications costs for the public. These initiatives signify a concerted effort by government towards building a digital economy. What can we expect going forward? Now, PPPs have proven to be an efficient and recommended method to deliver ICT infrastructure services and projects. The regulatory landscape is being improved to simplify the PPP process and to remove obstacles to projects before and after they start. In addition, innovative financing models are being considered and recommended in order to make more financing and funding options available. We are also looking forward to receiving updates with regards to the draft Procurement Bill. We noted in a recent publication that the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, confirmed that the draft Procurement Bill was currently under discussion at NEDLAC. The Minister also emphasized the need to simplify the PPP process. For example, having regard to projects with a predetermined value and to prioritize PPPs for critical government infrastructure programs. This will hopefully lead to properly structured PPPs for the delivery of ICT infrastructure and services. This will in turn ensure that South Africa sees an increase in access to the latest technologies and a reduction in cost of tech-related services for the majority of the population. This will create a seamless information society that can thrive in the global digital economy, as envisaged by NIP 2050. You can follow us on our social media pages for regular updates on PPPs, in particular those within the ICT sectors, or contact us for more information. Thank you for watching.